Hello, and we are almost done with the season. And so we shall see exactly where each team ends up being. This is, week 13. We only have 4 more weeks, all the way up to week 17. Maybe an extra week where we get to week 18. But things are getting a little bit interesting. It's stuff in the middle seems a little funny, but the stuff teams at the bottom are clearly the ones that deserve to be at the bottom. The ones at the top are ones that clearly deserve to be at the top. It's just in the middle where it gets a little dicey, and hopefully that should straighten out by the end of the season too. Now, obviously the rules are the combined score of offense and defense, lowest to highest. If tied, win loss. Potential point differential, win streak, head to head, schedule difficulty, and then finally coin toss. First, you got the New York Jets, who are still at the bottom and are still winless, which is very interesting because this could be the first ever season where we have both an 0-16 and a 16-0 team, which will definitely be interesting. But we have each team has 5 more games to go. Jets need to get 5 more losses. The other team needs to get 5 more wins in order for that to happen. So we're not quite there yet, but if that happens, it will be quite interesting and it will basically be history. 152 points, worst offense, one of the worst defenses, but the defense got a little better, I guess, because it went up to being ranked 29th. Negative 170 point differential, still the worst record, worst points, worst, just all around worst. Sorry, Jets fans. Then you got the Jaguars, who are ranked 31. They have 1 win, a whole win. That's pretty cool. They have the 27th ranked offense. One of the worst ranked defenses at 30th. Wanton record, negative 98 point differential, bad point differential. And yeah. And then still at 30th. The first 3 teams, they haven't moved at all. Cowboys are still there. They have 3 wins, 3-8. They have the worst defense, ranked 32nd, allowing the most points, 359. And they have one of the worst offenses. If somehow, they fell even further now with 251 points. They're ranked 23rd. It's 55 points. Yeah, Cowboys aren't a good team either, sadly. Well, again, sorry about that, Cowboys fans, and, me, because they're my second of everything. And you got the Denver Broncos. They fell down to 29th. But, that's partially because they didn't have a quarterback. This could have been a different game if they had a quarterback. But, I guess things just suck. Their offense fell down to 30th. Their defense fell down to 23rd. 4-7. Hopefully they have a quarterback next week. Maybe they'll be able to do a little better and bounce back. The Lions, despite losing, the Broncos loss was just, that bad. The Lions kind of moved up a bit, and their loss was pretty bad too. I guess it wasn't as bad as the Broncos. Their offense stayed the same, but their defense fell down to one of the worst, negative 76 point differential, 4-7, 53 points. And again, it makes sense that their offense didn't really do that bad because they're going up against, the Texans offense. The Texans defense. The Texans defense has improved, but it's still not good. Here's the 4th team that hasn't moved. The Bengals. They are ranked 27th. They are 2-8-1. 230 points, ranked 25th. 39 points allowed, ranked 21st. They're a fairly decent team. But, still, again, not a good team. Maybe they'll be able to build better in the draft. Then you got the Chargers, who fell down to 26th with their offense falling down. Their offense is now ranked 17th. Their defense is still ranked 24th. 3-8 record, 41 points. Just again, not a good week for the Chargers. Not a good And then the Panthers, again, they lost. And it was a tough loss, too. Their offense stayed pretty decent. It was their defense that did poorly. Their defense fell down to 24th. Their offense stayed at 16th, stayed average. 4-8 record, 40 points, negative 20-point differential. And then you got the Texans. They moved all the way up to 24. They went from, I believe they were 26th last week. That's a pretty good bounce up. 268 points. Their offense moved up. Still at the bottom half. But that's only because of how poorly we did in the beginning whenever, they were trying to get rid of O'Brien. The defense stayed the same at 22nd. Negative 29 point differential, 4-7 record. The Texans are, improving, but they're still they are still probably should be considered a bad team. But I am interested in how one of the rookies plays this week. Las Vegas Raiders, they fell down to power rankings a decent amount. They are 6-5, yet they fell down all the way to 23rd, and that's because of how bad that loss to the Chiefs was. It was a pretty big loss. They're ranked 12th, 292 points in offense, so still one of the better offenses, not a top 10 offense though. And then 28th in defense. So the defense fell down a lot because, again, they played the Chiefs twice, so I guess you can't hold it against them that much. Negative 27 point differential, 6-5 record, 40 points. Minnesota Vikings moved up to 22nd. 292 points allowed, 12th, 3-5 point, 292 points scored, which is 12th. Their offense has done pretty well. Defense not as well. They're 5-6, the exact opposite of the Raiders. Negative 13 point differential. They're just a little bit better, but they have a worse record. But they have done a little bit better overall. Not much though. The Cleveland Browns are 8-3. They fell all the way to 21. And it's just kind of funny seeing an 8-3 team down in the bottom half. Which they need to... It was just their loss to the Ravens was just so bad. It's going to take a while for them to be able to claw out. Or they're just going to need one huge victory. So, 265 points scored, 19th. And yeah, they're not even... They have one of the best records. Yet... Their offense is not in the top half of the league, and their defense is not in the top half of the league, which is honestly amazing. Then you got the Philadelphia Eagles. Their defense actually improved. Their offense stayed the exact same. Their offense stayed ranked 24th. The defense improved to ranked 14th. A 3-7-1 record. And now they are, well, the 20th ranked team in the NFL according to these rules and these power rankings. And you got the Giants who moved up to 19th, and these are the best team right now technically. Or did we do the football team yet? No, not yet. Okay, so they're still the football team. The Giants have been improving. Their defense is still top 10, and their offense has been keeping things together. And so we got 214 points scored, 29th, 253 points allowed, 9th, negative 39 point differential, 4-7, not tied record-wise for first place, but they hold the tiebreaker. So this is, division leaders at 4-7. Sweet, I guess. Then you got the New England Patriots. 229 points scored, 26th, 255 points allowed, 12th, negative 26 point differential, a 5-6 record, 38 points. Patriots, they did better, but they won, but it wasn't a convincing victory, but that's probably why they fell. Other teams probably had a much more convincing victories and passed them up. Chicago Bears fell down too. Their defense got worse to 8th, still a top 10 defense. Their offense improved a bit to, the 28th offense, ranked 28. 5-6 record, below 500. after being one of the teams fighting for division title, they're now below 500, 36 points. Chicago Bears fell down to, 17th. Now we get to the midpoint, and now we get to the top half of which are the supposed to be the good half. You got the San Francisco 49ers, who fell down 21st in points scored, 11th in points allowed, just outside the top 10 in defense. A 5-6 record, a plus 7 point differential, 32 points. 49ers were just outside that. They just made it to the top. And you got Washington. Oh, wow, the NFC East actually has a team in the top half with 7th in points allowed and 24th in points scored. But the 7th in points allowed, and the fact that they improved in both offense and defense, negative 2 point differential, 4-7 record. The Washington football team is the best in the NFC East, despite the fact that the Giants are division leaders. They do have the same record, though. Then you got the Seattle Seahawks. Their offense is still top 5. It's 4th. But the defense is still struggling, but it got improved. They got moved up to rank 26th, and that keeps them exactly where they're at. They're still the 14th ranked team at an 8-3 record. Then you got the Falcons, who improved, despite, being 4-7, to 13. It's probably because of how flipping big that victory was. It's ranked 11th in offense and ranked 16th in defense. So they've scored 11th most points, and they've allowed the 16th fewest points. So despite having a losing record, it's kind of funny. Just like the Browns, you have bottom half despite having a winning record on both those categories. The Falcons are in the top half in both of those categories despite having a losing record, which is, again, just kind of funny. Then you got the Buffalo Bills, 10th in offense, 17th in defense, both of them improving from last week. 8-3 record, that improves the Buffalo Bills to rank 12th. Then you got the Tennessee Titans, who are staying exactly where they're at, 19th, and the defense fell down to 19th. Their offense moved up to the 6th best. Gives them an 8-3. With their 8-3 record, they are ranked 11th. Now we get to the top 10. The Rams fell down. They fell down to, the 10th spot. They have not very good offense. They're the 20th in points scored this season, but they are 4th in points allowed in defense. So that's what's keeping them up there. That's what's keeping them in the games. Despite all that, though, they both kind of fell down to rankings this week. 7-4 record, 48 point differential. They're a good team. They just need to improve their offense. Then you got the Cardinals, a good offense and a good defense. A top 10 offense and a top half defense. 304 points scored, 258 points allowed, 6-5 record. But they did fall because they didn't do very well. And you got the Packers ranked 8th, the best scoring offense this week at this point. 349 points scored, 283 points allowed, 18th in defense, 8-3 record, 19 points. The Green Bay Packers are a top team. They have a great offense. They just need to work on that defense, it looks like, and then they'll be just like the 11-0 team. And you got the Baltimore Ravens. Their offense has gotten even worse. Their defense staying together, 3rd in points allowed, but their offense has gotten even worse, falling out to 15th in points scored. The 6-5 record, they fell to, the ranked 7th. They're probably going to keep falling if their offense keeps doing terrible. Now we get to the top 5, and now we get to Tampa Bay. Oops. Okay, so no, we don't get to top 5 yet. We're at 6. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They fell down to 3rd in scoring offense and 15th in defense. The defense is not a top defense, and their offense is a top 10. It is a top defense technically, but it's like barely over average. And then the defense is, well, in the top 3. With a 7, their offense is in the top 3. That gives them their 7-5 record. And, well, there's 64 point differential. And there's 6 spots. You get the top 5, and we have the Indianapolis Colts, who fell down to 5. They have the 9th in offense, 9th in defense, 7-4 record. Gives them the 5th spot. Yes, I know Titans won this week. And Colts are ranked higher. But it's just how the rules just kind of end up placing these two teams. We'll see how things continue. But the Colts have a good defense and a good offense still. I know people are saying the offense is underperforming, but they are 9th in points scored. So they are in the top 9. As in, they've been scoring pretty well. So, there's that. And in the Miami Dolphins, without Tua, their offense fell down to 14th, but the defense improved to 2nd. And they won 7-4, a 79-point differential with 16 points. The Dolphins still have a really good defense, and they improved to the 4th spot. And now we get to the top 3. Taking home the bronze are the New Orleans Saints. 5th in offense, 5th in defense, a really good team overall, a 9-2 record, 101 point differential. This is the only team with only 2 losses. The New Orleans Saints, of course, they're ranked 3rd, and then you got the silver. And then we got the only team with a 1 loss, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're still in 2nd. They got the 2nd best offense. They got the 6th. And defense, 110 point differential, a 10-1 record, 8 points. So from 9-2 to 10-1 to, well, 11-0. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 13-7, 317, 7th, and then their defense is the best in the NFL. So top offense and the best defense. And defense wins championships. Well, of course, they're going to probably win the Super Bowl at this point. These are your Super Bowl favorites, the top 3 teams to win the Super Bowl right there.